Hey folks, Papa Boris here playing some more Hades. It's time to do our third run overall and our first run with the spear. So the spear does a pokey attack. It does decent damage, it's fairly quick, and it has more range than the sword. And so it really fits with my play style of stand in place mashing the same button until the enemy dies. In addition, your spear has a special. What you do with this is you just press the button and it shoots the spear and then it stays there, and then you press the special button again and it comes back. And it does damage both there and back. And the damage is decent. It's about the same as your actual basic spear damage. The difference being that it's just a little bit slower, I think. But I guess I could be wrong about that. As with the sword, there is a dash strike. And the dash strike is nice because it does a pretty wide amount of damage. Whereas with the sword, the dash strike is very pointy. With the spear, the dash strike is quite wide. So some pretty cool stuff happening with the spear. Let's see if we can try to escape. And really, I'd be pretty happy to just make it to Act 3 still at this point in the game. Okay, we have our first hammer. You typically will see 2 of these per run, and they upgrade your weapon in some way that's not technically a boon. You can't upgrade this with palms. There's a qualitative and a quantitative aspect to this. So, oh yeah, I guess I should tell you, the spear also has a spin attack. If you press and hold the attack button down, you charge up a spin attack, and then you attack in an AoE. I never do that. That's for better players. I don't know what that's for, so I love this one. What this allows you to do is just to press and hold the button, and you just keep attacking. And you can also just dash to do a dash strike in the middle of this. For my play style, which is being bad, that is a really fantastic upgrade, and I will pretty much always take that one if it's available. Well, it's actually not true. So eventually we're going to unlock the Fated List of Minor Prophecies, which will give us achievements that we can do, and one of them is to basically get all of the hammer upgrades for each weapon. And the game is nice. It tracks it for you. So whenever you get a selection of boons, you'll see like a little scroll symbol next to any boon that you have not taken before. So it's a little weird because you can obviously just ignore the achievements and take whatever you think is strongest every time, but it feels bad to be ignoring those little scrolls for things you haven't taken. But it does mean that early in the game, you are kind of punished in a weird way for playing the game because you might end up taking bad boons to try to meet the achievements. Any hoodle, I don't really think I'm going to be using the special much this run. As a simple dumb beast, I will just often pick either the attack or the special and focus on it. And since we got that jab from the hammer, I doubt I'll be using the special very much at all. So what I'm going to do is grab this cast. It's a chain lightning effect. It's pretty neat. And it also lets you clear off the first act pretty easily. Like that just killed 2 enemies because it does a bunch of damage relative to the HP of the Act 1 enemies, and it has a chain effect. So it's just a convenient thing. None of those boons were particularly great. What I would have liked actually is lightning on my attack. Lightning on my attack, that would have been a different story. Ooh, tough one here between getting a heart or getting a boon. I'm going to get the boon. That could be a mistake. 25 health is a lot of health, obviously, but I do have 2 death defiances. Remember, these guys don't stagger because they have armor, so you have to wait until you shear off the armor before you can just sort of relax and sit there. Notice the backstab popping up. That is 50% more damage now. Oh yeah, we haven't actually seen Poseidon before, so I guess it's good to get this. Alright, so we have the special, but again, I don't really care that much about the special. This is actually a pretty neat one for meta currency because darkness and gems being worth 50% more is pretty significant. However, I am going to focus on power, which is the title dash. I like this dash a lot. So whenever you dash, it deals damage in an AoE, and it also pushes enemies. So if you push them into a wall, it actually can do a pretty sizable chunk of damage. 16 health for 20 coins. I don't think I'm going to do that. This actually is pretty strong, but I think I'm actually already very strong without it. So we're just going to go here and chat with Sisyphus. It's a shame I don't have any nectar. It can be hard to give him nectar because you don't always see him. It's only in these rooms. But you know, he will take a nectar to give you a trinket, and he's also one of the characters in the game that eventually gives you a companion. There are 6 of those, and for that you have to pump him full of a lot of nectar. So getting started on that is nice, and I like his trinket too. But unfortunately, we have not seen any nectar since that first run, actually. I went all the way to Hades last time, didn't see any nectar. But, you know, that's Hades. It's random, so sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. Okay, well, we ended up getting a heart here, which is good. Palm, not my favorite, unfortunately. We don't... Palms, I think, are best for, like, things that upgrade your attack and your special. Oh, I do have an upgrade on my cast. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with the palm. It's just basically, I find that most boons that aren't directly upgrading your attack or your special or your cast, with some exceptions, it's just not that exciting to palm them. Like, you know, I could do more damage on my dash, but does that really matter that much? Okay, this is a room, by the way, where the enemies will spawn indefinitely, and you'll see a timer in the upper left corner indicating how much time is left. So it's a room where you have to just survive for a certain amount of time. So there's a bit of a mix here. You know, on the one hand, you could just try to avoid all the enemies and not actually worry about killing them because you just win when the timer runs out. But on the other hand, not only can doing that potentially leave you with an overwhelming amount of enemies to deal with, but enemies do drop gold when they die. Like I had 40 gold or something coming in here, now I have 108. So killing them is good. Alright, this is fine. We'll upgrade our cast damage. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to buy anything here. Don't need health. This actually is pretty good. It's expensive though. And this is fine. It's pretty cheap, but still I only have 108 gold, so we'll just leave it. We have a mini boss here with Dionysus, who might give me a nectar. Oh, this is a tough boss. I really struggle with this one. So the way it works is kind of hard to explain, but he pops up, he fires a shot, and then he disappears. So the key is you basically need to dash as soon as you see him pop up. He's really hard to chase down because he disappears so quickly. So you see him pop up, you dash, see him pop up, you dash, see him pop up, you dash until he dies. He has a lot of armor but not very much health, so it may seem impossible. Once you get the armor off, he does die relatively quickly. Alright, so special hangover, it's a slow thing, and by special slow, don't need that. This is fine. This gets a lot better, and I actually take this pretty highly once you have more health. But right now I'm going to take Nectar because that increases my max HP and it gives me a Nectar. It's a shame I got this after seeing Sisyphus, but we'll have other good people to give that Nectar to back at the house. Okay, so notice I'm just keeping my attack button held down and then periodically dashing. Ooh, key or Nectar? Well, I will take Nectar. Not only would I just generally do that at this stage, because, you know, I still have to give everybody their trinkets, but it also gives me bonus health because of that boon. So I've actually gotten 50 extra health from the nectars, which is kind of sick. Okay, this is that fountain room that we actually got at the house contractor. So it has a random chance, and this doesn't always happen, of giving you like a free room in the first act, where you get the chamber reward and a fountain that heals you for free. So it's pretty cool. Not always going to happen. So notice again, I'm not really moving around. I just keep my attack button held down and I move around by dashing. Alright, we have a shop that we're forced to go to, but that's okay because I have 242 gold, so I can get a boon here. Those cost 150. Alright, let's get the boon. Attack and hangover. That is pretty good. The spear attacks somewhat quickly. However, I cannot resist this. I just love this to a degree that's probably unhealthy. So when you use a fountain, it heals you for all of your health, and you get a permanent damage bonus. And you always get a fountain after you kill a boss. So it's basically going to be 9% bonus damage if I can make it through Act 3, possibly more if I get lucky and see another fountain. Alright, I'm not going to give Charon the shopkeeper a nectar because his trinket is not one of my favorites. I'm not saying it's bad. It's actually a pretty good trinket. So what it does is it increases the duration of the temporary perks that you buy from those well shops. So you'll notice that I can stay pretty far away from Meg and still hit her with my spear. So I can just keep my attack button held down. I can try to stay far away from her so she doesn't hit me with that melee thing. And I'm actually keeping my attack button held down the entire time while dodging these things. So it's pumping out, for a third run, a level of damage that I am quite happy with. I think because I am so powerful with that hammer upgrade, I'm not going to ignore the wretches that she spawns. Sometimes, oh crap, I forgot about that. Sometimes it does make sense to just sort of ignore them, because if your damage output is low, okay, I gotta be careful here. If I can get, yeah, if I could get my spear pointing in the right direction, I could destroy the projectiles that she's shooting while still hitting her. But yeah, sometimes if your damage is low and you go around chasing all the ads, you know, it takes a while to kill them, and during that time the boss is also running around doing whatever the boss does to damage you, so it can be a major problem. Okay, so this is pretty good. This is much quicker than we got out of there last time. We heal for full, get a +3 damage bonus. These are the Charon shops, the wells, that you can increase the duration of with Charon's trinket. You know, I'm actually going to get this. I almost never get this, but I don't want to take treasure reward rooms.
Should I take the trade?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to sell anything. I don't want to take the treasure reward rooms, because treasure just gets useless so fast. But I really do want the Fated List of Minor Prophecies, which costs 20. So, like, in the short term, there is a huge value to treasure, because unlocking the achievements makes a really big difference. I was actually doing a little bit of research. There's fishing in this game, and fishing is a good source of resources, including gems. But you cannot get fishing until you get the Fated List of Minor Prophecies. There's 2 requirements for fishing, actually. One is to get the Fated List of Minor Prophecies, and the other is to reach Hades. You don't have to kill him, you just have to... Oh, no, not Hades, I beg your pardon. To reach the 4th act, so those Satyr tunnels. So when I did that last time, if I could get up 20 gems and unlock the Fated List of Minor Prophecies, then I could comfortably ignore gems completely forever. We got a palm and coins. I think in this run I do prefer the coins, because I don't have an upgrade on my attack yet. If I had taken the Hangover, palm is pretty good for that, because the Hangover is the damage over time every half a second for, I think, 4 seconds, and it can stack up to 5 times. So doing 1 extra Hangover damage. Okay, where's the enemy? Yeah, these guys kind of pop in and out of the ground, but they don't have that much health. These guys shoot rocks, and they're pretty annoying because the rocks stun you. So you really want to try to pay attention to those floating heads and not get hit by their rocks. Okay, we have health or shop. I'm going to be greedy. We're going to take the health. So the shop is kind of like a free room. You don't have to fight. And I could still get something useful at the shop. I could spend 150 of my 78 gold and get a boon. Or if they have a heart, I could pay 125 gold for a heart. But it's kind of like coming here. I gain gold, because remember, enemies can drop gold when you kill them. And I also get the heart without paying 125 gold for it. So it's a greedy move, because of course if I take damage in this fight, but if I don't take damage, then I just get a free 25 health plus the gold I got for killing the enemies. We have Zeus, and we have... Okay, always take the story. So this is Eurydice. She is Orpheus's lover, and there's a long-running quest to reunite her with Orpheus. Oh, I can't give her nectar. Interesting. I was thinking about giving her nectar, even though I don't really use her trinket, because she's just someone I might not reach, but the game did not, I guess, give me the option to give her nectar before I've talked to her once. Okay, so her 3 options are, you can either raise the rarity of 2 of your boons at random, give a +1 level to 4 of your boons at random, or make it so that your next 3 boons have upgraded rarity. My algorithm for this is extremely simple. If I have a good attack, cast, or special boosting boon that I'm relying on in that run, I always get this to hopefully raise its rarity. But if I don't have that kind of thing, I want this, because now if I find a boon that raises my attack, it will be an upgraded rarity, and I have 3 chances to find it. The spear attacks pretty quickly, so I would not mind Zeus attack on my spear. Alright, this mini-boss, there's 2 components to it. So there's the floating Medusa head. She spits out these rocks. Try to look at her body and face away from her. Not only are you going to do sweet, sweet backstab damage with that, but... let's see, I'm stuck. But you also won't get hit by those rocks. The other thing is this rock. You can kind of see its... God damn it. You can see its shadow, and just make sure that you run away before it gets to you. But if you are frozen by Medusa's rocks, which I am hitting today, or getting hit by today, like it's my job, then the rocks can freeze you in place, and then the rock crashes down on you. So you wait for the shadow to kind of hover over you, then you dash away. If you dash away too soon, it will not slam down, it will follow you. So there's a bit of a, like that, there's a bit of a timing element. This thing doesn't have as much health as it has armor, so it's not as hard as you'd think, but I did lose like half my health. So you notice I can gift Zeus a nectar here. What the god trinkets do, oh, it doesn't actually, okay. So this would only apply currently on my cast. I guess we'll do this, 153 revenge damage when getting hit. I, of course, don't have that much health, not as much health as you'll have later on, but still, it's a lot of damage. And for things that don't hit you very hard, it's a pretty good deal. So anyway, the gods' trinkets, they are all the same. What they do is they guarantee that the next boon that you find belongs to that god, and they also increase the chance that boons from that god will be of a higher rarity. Gotta run away, it didn't run away fast enough. So basically, it actually turns out that those are, according to strong players, the best boons in the game, because when you play at very high difficulty levels, you want to try to like force certain builds, which may seem a little bit odd when you're just starting the game. Like, how can I force a build since all the boons are random? But by ensuring that certain gods' boons spawn, you can increase the odds that you will see a particular boon, and then you can kind of build your run around it. I'm going to take a bit of an aggressive move here. We're going to buy these gems. This gives me enough to get the Fated List of Minor Prophecies, and I think I will also get this boon from Poseidon. Okay, well, it's unfortunate here. I still don't really want to use my special. I wouldn't necessarily want Poseidon's boon on my attack because it pushes enemies away. This, I mean, you know what? I'm going to take it. I just don't value these very much. So basically, I can add a little bit of extra damage to my dashes by doing this, but that more than doubles my special damage. And it's actually pretty good against this boss fight. So because I didn't see any health in that shop, and because I did poorly against that mini-boss and took a bunch of damage, I am concerned about losing a Death Defiance here. I'm guaranteed to beat this boss, but I don't want to lose a Death Defiance. So one thing you can do with the spear is you can just keep shooting your special at the boss when it's not even on your screen and just damage it down. Because remember, it does damage forwards and backwards, and you're just completely safe from the boss's melee attacks. Now, if the boss shoots, you know, oh my god, I dashed in there to get my cast, and I took damage. That was hilarious. The Hydra has different variations. So there are some that shoot those pink missiles. There's some that shoot the fireballs. You can get a Hydra that shoots out those little nests that spawn guys if you don't kill them fast enough. Basically, all the things that the heads can do that spawn off to the side, the main head can also be focused around. Oh god. So mainly what I'm concerned about here is dying in the second wave of Hydra spawns. If I can survive this fight without ever dying, okay, got it. Respect the missiles. If I can survive this fight without ever dying, that'll be really good, because remember, I heal to full from fountains. So it doesn't matter how damaged I am, all my mistakes will be wiped clean. However, there's this section, which is, you know, difficult to do without taking damage in. So I'm gonna, okay, hang on. I really want to kill these nests because that is something that could easily do damage to me. So there's magma pools on the ground. Alright, there's more nests. I'm gonna shoot a cast to try to hopefully get the nests. That failed. The cast did not hit any of the nests. Okay. There's the last test, so we're just gonna stay back here. Now this is the Hydra that shoots those pink missiles. So what it does at some point is shoot like a whole lot of pink missiles in a row. There we go. So I just want to make sure, whoop, I don't get surprised by that. Okay, auto aim is being weird here. But yeah, even if I didn't just have doubled, didn't we already do this, Lerny? Even if I hadn't just doubled my special damage, I mean, you could still just sit here and press this kind of all day until he dies. Okay, so not the cleanest traversal through Act 2, but we do get another diamond, which can't really do anything with yet. You also, or in this case, I also heal to full. Now I do an extra 6% damage. I have 8 coins. Anything here I care about? Nope. This ended up being wasted because I bought 20 gems from the shop, which is aggressive, and it's definitely the only time I'm ever going to do that. Actually, I am very strongly considering this. Yeah, I'm going to sell this, actually. It was good against the boss, and now I just want 150 coins. I don't think I'm going to buy anything here, because I don't need these gems anymore since I got up to 20. But yeah, we'll just convert that boon basically into something else. Since the boon costs, when you sell them, are determined by their rarity, and epic ones sell for quite a bit. I think also they are worth more if you've upgraded them. Not sure about that. But yeah, that was an epic one, so it sold for 150, which is how much I paid to get it at the shop. I still have not upgraded my attack. I feel very strong in this run. It's just because of the hammer upgrade. If I could get a boon powering up my attack, that would be really great. In fact, I'm a little bit desperate for it. Really quite desperate for that, since the Act 3 bosses have a lot of HP, and not only is it just a slog to kill them if you don't have an attack bonus, but it dramatically reduces your chances of winning the fight. Alright, Key or Darkness, still just always taking keys. The witches, I'm honestly like more happy to see the witches than anything else in this act, because they just don't have that much health. Even my non-upgraded attack is taking them out relatively quickly. The regenerating guys and the butterflies and those big chariots, those are all a chore to chew through. So this is where, you know, it's been a pretty lucky run so far, but the fact that I have not upgraded my attack with an actual boon is, you know, coming back to haunt me. And maybe you could say, well, Boris, why not have then kept your special that was upgraded for over double damage? Again, I just think it's clunky because it's so slow having to like go there and back. It's not an objective statement, it's just my personal take. I could go to the shop, and I'm actually going to. So normally I would take the darkness here. However, I desperately need a way to boost my attack, and so I just want to buy a boon here. I'm hoping this is an attack boosting one from Zeus. Yep, perfect. So it emits chain lightning when you damage a foe. Fantastic. This is what we need. I'm also going to be pretty spendthrift. We're going to heal up, even though I'm wasting some of the healing. I just don't want to die. And then I'm also going to buy this palm, because now I can upgrade my attack. Now, it's not guaranteed I have more than 3 boons, and it rolls 3 random ones, but I got it, so that may not look like much, but it is a flat damage increase on every one of my attacks. Here we have Aphrodite, who is a pretty good goddess. Her special thing is weak. It makes enemies do less damage, and her attack boost is quite strong because it gives a pretty high percentage in addition to weakening the enemy. However, I'm going to take Zeus because since I have chain lightning on the attack, I want more things that beef up my lightning. In particular, things like, you know, jolted. Oh, not jolted. The chance to strike twice. Okay, so playing with a melee weapon against this bull, what you do is you just kind of stand there and you wait for him to jump, and then you dash past him. It's not as clean as all that. He also has a different attack that, you know, if you're bad like me, you're just gonna get hit by. But that's sort of my plan. When I see him rear back or jump back, I dash past him. Otherwise, I keep either mashing the attack button, or if I'm lucky enough to be playing a weapon where you can hold the attack button down, I just keep it held down. Eventually, he might do his little chargey thingy, and then I'll have to run. So he turns invulnerable, so now when he jumps, it deals... Oh, is he charging? He is. Luckily, he ran into a wall that time. Of course, you can always play it a little more cautious. You can, you know, stand far back and hit him with specials. I just find that a little bit tiresome. And also, you know, the longer it takes you to kill the enemy, the more time that they have to do damage to you, and the worse that you are at dodging their attack patterns, the more damage you're going to take. So notice he taps out before you can actually kill him, which makes sense. Otherwise, the final boss fight would be a little too easy. But he will be a little bit damaged, as you'll see when we make it to the fight. Okay, well, this is fine. I'll go ahead and grab the Jolted. This is not nearly as good as you might think, because especially on the attack, because if you're attacking an enemy consistently, then you stun lock them and they don't get to attack. Like that Chariot was never gonna take its Jolt damage. However, the Jolt damage does also work on my cast. Notice that enemy is still jolted, it never actually did an attack. And so it didn't really do much, but you know, it's something and it'll be relevant for the boss. Okay. Okay, guys. Alright, you're all peaches. So we got our shield respawny guys. I think what I'm gonna do, since I'm pretty good at stun locking the chariots, is take out the chariot and then try to, you know, get behind one. Where did it float? Where did it go? Okay, there it goes.
Nice.
Alright, here I think it's an easy choice. Coins are nice, but health is going to make a big difference. I mean, with this build, it is not impossible for me to beat Hades. It would be a stretch, don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to be mad if I die. You know, I'll be happy if I beat him before run 15, honestly. But it's not impossible here, because with the chain lightning and the fast attack, we should also see another hammer at some point. Typically the game nudges it so that you see, or at least you have the chance to get 2 hammers per run. There's no guarantees, like if you are offered one and then you choose a different room, I don't know if the game is going to keep offering you hammers until you've actually taken 2. I don't believe it does that, but I haven't seen another one, so I should see another one, I think. And if that also boosts my attack, that would be really strong. If I only get options for specials, that would be a little sad. Tough one here, health or palm. Because the palm would be nice to boost my attack with. How many actual boons do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not even guaranteed to upgrade my attack. The attack's the only thing I want to upgrade, so I'll take the health. Now, how much health is too much health? That is a reasonable question. Personally, I like to have somewhere in the mid to high 200s. However, this early on, this is only the 3rd run, you know, having above 300 wouldn't be the worst thing. Because, you know, eventually you're going to have 3 Death Defiances and a defensive trinket that helps you in the final boss. Now, my trinket is a defensive one. It's Skelly's thing that gives you an extra Death Defiance, only it restores a fixed amount of health instead of a percentage amount of health. However, eventually you're going to have 3 Death Defiances without trinkets, and then that means that your trinket can do something else. Okay, also I'm getting damage to the point here where I'm a little concerned that I won't be able to beat this boss without blowing 1 or 2 Death Defiances. Okay, these guys, the pinwheels, I admit I don't entirely understand. Basically, they run at you and they explode, and if you're using a melee weapon, I don't know how to avoid taking the damage. So I'll try to kill them with my cast. Oh god, I got trapped with that big ball. Remember, the big balls split into a bunch of little ones on impact. I'll try to kill him with my cast. I'll try to kill him with my special, or just standing far away from them with my spear. It's the sword that's is really awkward, because the sword is not a super long range weapon. Spear with that extra range, you can actually kill them, they explode. I think there is something I don't understand about them, because I have killed them with melee weapons and not taken the explodey damage, so I'm not entirely sure what the deal is. Okay, the bouncing more times, this affects my attack, but this doesn't really help that much with bosses. I'm gonna do this for extra damage that might be relevant in the boss fight. Okay, shop or health. Now that is a tricky one, because more health would be nice, but this is Act 3. I probably am going to take damage. I'm going to go here. I could get healing here. Healing doesn't always spawn, but it did here. 80 health is a lot. That makes a big difference. Do I take a boon from Athena? I've already upgraded my attack. I could get just like a damage resistance boon from her. I'm going to take it. This is... Actually, these are both pretty good, because I get hit by traps all the time, so just not worrying about them is a huge difference. Also, this is good because it's more revenge damage, and then the deflection matters if you're getting hit by, say, a bunch of projectiles at once. I'm going to take that, partly because it was epic. It doesn't help me on this boss fight. But then the damage from the do damage and deflect briefly when hit, that doesn't do that much damage either. Alright, so again, with this fight, oh god. Try to keep an eye on the spear. We can basically do the exact same thing with the bull that we did before. It's just that you gotta watch yourself when you see that reticule. It means that you either... He's dead, he's charging. You either... Oh, see, I took 20 damage. You either need to get behind a pillar, or you need to dash. That time, actually, I didn't dash away from it, but I guess he was far enough away that it didn't hit me. Oh no, I'm about to get hit. I saw it happening. I ran out of dashes. That's actually, by the way, why it's good to have dashes. You know, if I had had like 3 dashes, which you don't normally get without some kind of special thing, I could have dashed away from that spear. Oh my god, that was 166 damage? Wow, I did not realize those things did that much damage. Those are like the shockwaves that he starts spitting out after you get him down to... Oh my god. Okay, so that time I dashed through a pillar, and then since he was coming at me from the pillar... Can I finish him off? Okay. What are the odds I don't take any damage killing Theseus? Pretty small. This part, as long as you're not being greedy, you can guaranteed not take any damage. Just get away from him after you hit him. Wait for him to be targeting you with a spear, or with the thrown spear, as opposed to his melee attack. And then you come in and do trickle damage. There's no reason you should ever take damage against Theseus solo. But after he gets to half health and does his little thingy, calling on a god for help, you know, you can still keep doing the exact same strategy, except now you have to be dodging the god's stuff. Notice I'm holding my attack button down and dashing around him. I want to do as much damage as possible while he's in that state where he's just standing there calling on the god. What happened there? Because that, see, like, it's just, there's a Death Defiance. See, because like it can be difficult to dodge these. Every god has like their own thing. This is Ares, so his thing is that it doesn't happen super frequently like some of the other gods, but when it does happen, oh no, that sucks. I unfortunately, oh wait, what? How did he, oh, I see, he took revenge. I thought I died, and I was like, wait, don't I have another Death Defiance? He died from the revenge lightning damage when he hit me with a spear. Okay, well, we heal up to full, which is actually huge there. That is a big, big, big old deal. And I could sell this, but there's going to be a lot of traps in this section, so I think that would be a little bit foolhardy. We don't need any of that. Alright, so here we are back again in the Temple of Styx. Okay, so basically what I'd like to see is either an Athena boon that can give me my Death Defiance back, or a Well of Charon that lets me buy back a Death Defiance for 200 coins. I am currently 75 coins short, but it does mean I'm definitely not going to spend anything in that shop down there. So there's Athena. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take Poseidon first, because this is... I generally will always fight the mini-boss version. Because the first one that you go down, you're guaranteed to fight, and I think that the mini-bosses are on average harder, or sorry, easier than the non-mini-boss rooms, and they give a better reward. Like, this will be upgraded rarity. But maybe in this case, what I actually should have done was gone down the gold path. That would have given me 200 gold, which would have given me the gold that I need to buy a Death Defiance from the Well of Charon. I am by no means guaranteed to get a Death Defiance replenishment from Athena. So in fact, it might still even be the correct option to take the gold now, so that if I run into a well, I can buy that Death Defiance. Now, the question, of course, is how likely is it that I'm going to get the option to regenerate Death Defiance from the Charon well? And the answer is I'm not sure, but just anecdotally, don't take this to the bank. Oh, got it. Yeah, so I should have mentioned those, that the boss rat is pretty innocent looking. Hang on, where's the healing well? Okay. The boss rat is pretty innocent looking, but it does have this charge attack. So you need to be a little bit careful if you've been standing in one place for too long. You know, just move around a little bit. It does have a slight visual tell before charging at you. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm doing literally nothing except holding down the attack button. Okay, once the trap fires. Okay, the boss is dead. So we just need to kill little sidekicks. There we go. Okay, well, this is unfortunate. Doesn't really do much of anything. I'm not going to be specialing against the boss. There's not that many left. We'll take this. So, you know, sometimes I'll do more damage. And in fact, that's actually pretty good in the tunnels because it allows you to just clear a lot of the rooms simply by dashing around. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to get the gold. What would be devastating is if I saw a well of Charon that offered Death Defiance here before I got enough gold. Notice I did increase my gold a bit there from killing the enemies. Uh-oh. Oh, no, there it is. I made a huge... Well, no, if I had gone here first, I also wouldn't have had enough money. So I am unfortunately 18 gold shy. Well, all right, I wasn't offered it. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get this, because that, if this is the final tunnel, which there's a 50% chance that it is, then I'm gonna get a fountain which will heal me up to full, and I will still get to keep these benefits. So I'm actually gonna get this as well. This is something I would not normally buy, but that increases my max health by 25. It does not increase my current health, but if this is the last tunnel, then I will heal up to full, and so I will get the full benefit. It's like I got 25 extra health. So I didn't actually go for healing my poison there, because once you kill the enemies in a room, you also are free from poison. So these rats, this is a room where just spawns rats. I'm just trying to dash around as much as possible because my dash wipes out those rats really well. Okay, we did not get the boon, which is fine. Oh god, I gotta get out of there. Okay, luckily, notice how I took 25 damage? Yeah, that's with 90% resistance to traps. So it's really important to try to dodge those as soon as you see the red circle appear. Notice I got 200 coins there because that was a mini boss. This worked out okay, I think. Now I have enough coins to buy a Death Defiance. I'm going to go here because Athena might also give me a boon that gives back Death Defiance. So I'm trying to maximize my odds. Now, I don't know some of the technical details. There was a Well of Charon in the other tunnel. Can I spawn another Well of Charon in this tunnel? You know, it's one of those things where I don't know if only one of the tunnels can have a Well of Charon or if it's just a random thing for each tunnel. Okay, well, there's another one. So, now we have enough coins to get a Death Defiance if one is offered. And it's not here. Boy. Well, cast and special are not super relevant, but this is cheap enough I'm gonna get it. Eventually you can have 3 casts. I'm not gonna pay health to increase my coins. That would be kind of silly. Eventually you get 3 casts, and then it makes a bigger difference to have your cast doing more damage. So will you give me a Death Defiance, Athena? I've had 2 shops that didn't, and no. So we are just gonna take 5% damage resistance. You know, that does increase my total health. I only have 1 Death Defiance, and unfortunately it's Skelly's, which only respawns me for 75 health, not 112 or 13 health, as I would from a real Death Defiance. Does Poseidon have anything that would matter? I don't know, but increasing something by 1 level wouldn't matter that much either, so we're gonna get him. Okay, your boons with knockout effects shove foes multiple times. This only matters for the boss, so if I dash near Hades, it does like, I don't know, 36 damage instead of 30. It's not a huge deal. We'll take that just for the achievement that will eventually matter. So at this point, I would not bet on me to beat Hades. I'm really glad to have reached Hades. I am probably going to take a bunch of damage from his spinny attacks because, you know, that's a dexterity thing, and I have not and probably never will master that. And so basically I only have the 225 health I have now plus the 75 health from Skelly's trinket. I really needed that extra Death Defiance. I think actually with a Death Defiance, like a real one, I would have had maybe a 50% chance of beating this guy. Again, take care. Dodge a little more than... See, he wound up there. I just didn't have fast enough reflexes to get away. And I think I might even be better at dodging his spin attack, honestly, just because, like, you have a second to react. It's tricky because it doesn't quite hit where that white circle is. So I will take damage from those, but it feels better. Oh, okay, I took 20 damage from that thing. Okay. So these you actually need to deal with because those floaty guys give shields to their allies, and Hades is one of their allies. So it's a particularly devastating... Oh my god. It's a particularly devastating combination because, you know, you obviously don't want Hades to be invulnerable. That was a tough spot. See, he turns around. I try to get behind him, but he turned around to follow me. Oh god. The chain lightning is nice actually because it gives me a way to kill those things while hitting Hades. See, I was out of reach of him. However, he dashed forward a lot. Okay, what happened there is the thing exploded and I dashed forward, getting hit by it again. Just highly unfortunate. Oopsie, missed with my cast there. I give myself decent odds of triggering his first phase. It'd be nice so we could talk about how that one works. Well, if I live long enough to see him do all the things that he does in it, I suppose. There is eventually a darkness upgrade that makes it so that when an enemy has a cast lodged in it, you do bonus damage to them. That would make a pretty big difference here, because then I could lodge a cast into Hades and all of my quick jabs would do more damage. Okay, so now we have reached the second phase, and he's a little different. He always starts off... Okay, so he does this thing. He doesn't always do this first. He always starts off with that Nova, but when he does that fire beam attack, you can actually get behind him and hit him while he's doing it. He spawns these pots. They count as traps, and they freeze you in place. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you hit him, they might freeze you in place, and if you don't hit him, then he might destroy them himself, and then it creates this short AoE area on the ground where if you walk on it, you take damage. So yeah, if I could have respawned there with 125 health, you know, might I have won? Maybe. Okay, so let me actually... Oh, so first of all, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe. If you want to stick around for the bonus stuff at the end, now let's get to it. So first of all, we are going to buy the controller is kind of twitchy with these. We're going to buy the Fated List of Minor Prophecies. This is the main thing that I care about. Everything else I don't mind waiting on, but that one you want to get as soon as possible. So now because I've reached Hades, specifically because I reached Act 4, I guess the next time that I'm here, if the internet is to be believed, I should be able to pay a diamond to buy a fishing rod, which will be a nice contribution of meta resources. Between these things that I can buy now, I'm going to get this. Switching keepsakes between regions is kind of nifty. In fact, that will affect my choice of the next trinket that I get. We're going to go ahead and give some nectar to Hypnos here, and he gives his coin purse. So that basically gives you some coins when you pick it up, but that's all it does. So when you purchase the thing that lets you switch trinkets between bosses, you know, you can use that. You can basically switch away your coin purse for another boon, and then you got, you know, extra coins for your run for basically no cost. There's several other people I'm considering giving nectar to. I think another one is gonna be Achilles. So his trinket gives you damage resistance when you get hit from the front, but a damage penalty when you get hit from the back. When you upgrade it, though, the damage resistance increases and the damage penalty does not. Eventually, that is the trinket that I will pretty much always be using against the third act boss.
We each have. I understand. The house. I know.
What was that about?
All right, so now we have achievements here. This gives you a list of all the things that you can do to try to get some rewards. And the rewards are pretty good. So this one gives me 40 gems. So it already, you know, buys back the 20 gems that I spent to get it. So I'm absolutely 100% committed to never, ever, ever getting gems from anything unless I'm absolutely forced to, because it's like the only chamber reward available. This is really good. You get 1,000 darkness, but you have to beat Hades. That's tough. This is nice. You get 3 nectar just for meeting all the different gods. So there's just a couple that we haven't met yet, I believe. What is this? So there's Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and Demeter, who I thought I was supposed to meet since I reached Hades, but maybe you have to beat Hades to get her. No, I thought the internet said you have to just reach Hades and not kill him, so I'm not sure why I haven't seen Demeter yet. These are some other NPCs that are not gods. 10 keys is a really incredible reward here. Not much I can do, though, except just wait until I can talk to the people during the runs or after the runs. And then there's a bunch of them. 1, 2... this one actually is just for Athena for now. Interesting. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, so basically this is for getting all of the boons of Athena, and you're going to get one of these types of quests for all the gods. 150 gems is... okay, it's sort of lame because, like I said, gems are the most useless resource, but the cool thing about this is that you can eventually, not right now, but eventually, after enough runs, you unlock a merchant who can swap resources around, obviously at inefficient rates, but you can turn 10 gems into a key and 5 keys into a nectar. So these rewards are kind of like 3 nectar. And for all the gods, that ends up being a lot of nectar. So notice it is retroactive. I have already gotten these 4 boons from Athena, and it remembers that. It's not from the point you get the achievement, but from the entire beginning that you've been playing the game. And so now I will be taking different boons from her anytime I get the chance, marked by the scroll symbol, so I can try to get those gems. I now actually have 43 gems because I completed that sort of free achievement. So I'm going to go back here because we can actually buy more stuff. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is good. This gives you more gold during a run. We've seen it where it's like, oh, I'm off by like 18 gold. So like if I've seen, you know, 4 of these urns throughout my levels, that would have been good. This adds a chance in the third act to get a free fountain chamber, and this adds a chance to get a free fountain room in the second act. So like we got that last time in the first act, that fountain room, this basically adds it to the other acts. And this makes it so that fountains restore a bit more health. It's a tough choice. What I think I'm going to do is grab these troves. So what the troves do is they let you kill a bunch of enemies, and depending on how quickly you kill them, you get a varying level of reward. That can be coins, darkness, gems, or healing, if I recall correctly. And you can see which resource it is that you are getting and what the maximum amount is before you choose to commit to them. I think I'm going to do that because getting like an extra 100 darkness here and there is a pretty good exchange for my gems, whereas the other stuff, like the fountains, is like a convenience thing, but it's not necessarily going to be more resources. And I suppose we'll just spend as much as possible. I will spend the 30, so now we can find urns during the run that look like that. They're like tall and gold and sparkly, and they give you 5 coins when you break them up. It looks like unlocking that spawns some other thing I can unlock eventually, but I'm not going to worry about it. Let's take a look at our darkness situation. So I have 5 keys, which means I can unlock the next section, and there's some pretty good stuff there. However, I want to see what the next weapon is that has the Dark Thirst.
What's going on, Sketty? Sketty, you wouldn't know it. Unlock those.
Aha, it's the sword. So I don't need to unlock the shield. I believe it is just random. It could be any weapon that just is the next one to have Dark Thirst. So because it is the sword and I don't need to unlock the shield right now, I am going to commit these keys and unlock the next section of the mirror. Okay, so now we got some pretty good stuff. This is the one that makes it so that when you hit enemies with attack or special, not everything, just attack and special, that have a stone, one of your casts, lodged in them. It deals bonus damage. And this increases how many casts you have. Now, I'm going to grab this one because that's just dirt cheap. However, I'm not super interested in messing around with cast builds. I remember when I first played this game, I tried a lot of like cast builds where I was just like focusing on killing things through casts. Either I'm bad, or it doesn't work, or it takes a very particular set of circumstances for it to work. So I'm not going to mess around with just having more casts. I really only care about having 1 or 2, so I can put it into an enemy and then get bonus damage from this, which is what I'm going to do. And this is a pretty cheap set of upgrades. I just got, 3 ranks in it for very little darkness. So with luck, I'll be able to finish maxing that out after the next run. And now I just got a 30% damage boost. If you're wondering why I'm not getting this, that's metagaming. I just know that there's going to be an alternative version of this upgrade that I will use eventually anyways, so I don't want to spend the darkness here. You can get up to 3 health per room. I don't think it's going to make a difference. So, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again for the 4th run soon. Take care.